Welcome back to AM Northwest. She's one of the biggest names in sports and a force behind the WNBA surge in popularity. Here to share more about the power player, we welcome the author of On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports, acclaimed sports columnist Christine Brennan. Good to have you with us.
Oh my gosh, Helen.
This is an honor, seriously. First of all, you've been to Portland before.
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
Quite a few times. Portland's own Tanya Harding.
Yeah.
So my first bestseller was Inside Edge after the Tanya Nancy fiasco, scandal. So I spent time at Clackamas Town Center. We'll be there tonight for the book signing, but I spent lots of time at Clackamas Town Center watching her skate. Remember when the ice rink was in the middle of the mall, which that in of itself was an Olympian skating in a mall. But there you go. But yay for Clackamas to have that. And Tanya I knew very well. I still got cell numbers for her. I don't know if she's listening, but if she is, come on out to Clackamas.
There you go.
Yeah. So that entire scandal, I was all over that.
It was something else. It was something else. Let's talk about Caitlin Clark. Let's start first, though, with Iowa and how Iowa really made her the player she's known for today.
Absolutely. So way back when, I have in this book lots of Caitlin Clark magic, logo threes jumping off the page, but also the story that I think resonates with everyone with their daughter in the kitchen or the girl next door you wave at as she's going to volleyball or softball practice. And that is the story of Title IX and girls having an opportunity to play sports. Law signed by Richard Nixon, June of '72. So now 53 years old. Totally coming of age. The nation has fallen in love, Helen, with what we've created. Allowing our daughters to play sports just like our sons and learning how to win and lose and leadership, all those life lessons that make them better people. And in Iowa, they had something called 6-on-6 girls basketball. They would not let, for generations, would not let girls in high school cross the center line. In other words, people played on one half of the court, and then the other half, defense or offense. And because I think they felt if women ran a full court, they might not be able to have babies or something.
Oh my gosh.
So, but that's the history. Now, Iowans loved it on the shoulders of all those great legends who were not allowed to run full court, which is, again, stunning when you think of Caitlin Clark tearing down the floor, those beautiful passes, those beautiful shots. Out of that, standing on the shoulders of that incredible foundation of thousands of girls and women, 100 years in the making, of course, comes Caitlin Clark.
And Iowa really made her the star, though, that she is. Like, allowed her to score, allowed her to play, allowed her to be a star.
Without a doubt. If she doesn't go to Iowa, she's not Caitlin Clark that we know. For example, she was recruited heavily by Notre Dame and almost went to Notre Dame. She actually had a soft commitment there. Muffet McGraw, the great coach at Notre Dame, who I interview in the book, lots of voices, of course, in this book, telling this journalistic story of this amazing woman, not just one of the most popular athletes in the country, one of the most popular people in the country, Caitlin Clark, that she said, I wouldn't have allowed her to shoot that much. Caitlin Clark came out here. Came to Oregon and Oregon State, and Sabrina Ionescu actually was her host. Took her around. How about that? You guys almost had her. But she loved it here. She loved everything about Oregon. It's too far. She is an Iowa girl. She's a Midwestern Big Ten girl, although now the Big Ten is all the way across the country. And I think, again, at Iowa, good program, but not one of the blue blood programs. So Lisa Bluter, the coach, said just fire it from the parking lot. So she's chucking it from the next county, and it's going in, which created the magic of Caitlin Clark.
She's an entertainer. And in addition to being a great athlete, she's also an entertainer.
High wire act at the circus. And that's the difference. People trying to figure out, like, why her? And I deal with all this in On Her Game. I talk about this. I delve into it. Why there are people who are watching us right now who would never have watched women's basketball.
Who are watching it now.
Who are now literally planning their evenings around Caitlin Clark's games. Obviously, she's injured right now. And why? It's because she transcends sports. It is something very much like Tiger Woods. When people would never care about golf. They would tune in for Tiger. Caitlin's that same kind of entertainer.
You broke the news about when she was snubbed by the Olympics, and I want you to tell me about how that happened and why.
Yeah, complete contradictions even now. Infuriating. I have new reporting, a chapter that's actually called Olympic Snub. And if you followed it, there's even more now. Basically, they did not want her on the team, which is stunning because at that point she had just broken the record for most points in Division I basketball.
Any college
male or female.
Any college basketball
passing
player.
the great Pistol Pete Maravich. She's number one. She's an icon. She can grow your game very much like the '92 men's dream team.
Right.
Remember, I think
Yes.
people remember Michael Jordan, that whole
Yes.
gang that went to Barcelona. And also Johnny Appleseed, so to speak, sowing the seeds for the sport around the world. Women's basketball needs that. USA Basketball wants to grow. How do you keep her off the team for that reason alone? But there was jealousy, pettiness, as I said, contradictions. For example, I've got people quoted as saying, oh, she's playing great. Then I've got people quoted as saying, oh, no, she wasn't playing great. And these are people making the decision.
Oh.
In other words, they couldn't even get their story straight with me months later.
Right.
A terrible decision. I've covered the Olympics since '84 in LA. I've never seen a worse team selection decision. It looks worse today than it did a year ago.
Absolutely.
And it was just an utter swing and a missed opportunity to reach so many countries around the world who would have watched the attention magnet,
Right.
Caitlin Clark, and then would have seen all those incredible players, most of them black, who've never gotten the attention they deserve.
Right, absolutely. And that there's some racist tension going on.
Oh, there
It
sure
feels,
is.
I mean, across the nation there is racial tension.
Without a doubt. I mean,
Yeah.
the book, I go through the entire season, again, her college career,
Right.
but it's also set against, of course, the backdrop. I don't go into the presidential election, but it's set against the backdrop of this very polarized time and the election last year. And I did ask Caitlin about that when she liked a Taylor Swift post about politics, and we, you
Right.
know, nothing was off limits for my questions to Caitlin Clark. But absolutely, this is a 74% black league.
Right.
And here you've got a white woman coming in and being the star. The male-dominated mainstream sports media for decades ignored the WNBA. I
Yeah.
tried. I was covered in the 90s. They didn't want anything to do with it.
No, they didn't.
And so we can understand how there could be some feelings or some issues about, like, wait a minute, what? It wasn't
Right.
us?
Right.
And I so wish it had happened for Maya Moore or Candace
Right,
Parker.
who
But it
was Caitlin's role model? Maya Moore was Caitlin's role model.
Young
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark cheering
Yeah.
on Maya Moore. And
Yeah.
Caitlin has been amazing and gracious, talking about all the people who came before her.
Who
Every time,
basically opened things up for her.
and every
Right.
time she mentions it, she's talking about black players. So Caitlin has been truly terrific in understanding the history.
Yeah.
There is no more appreciative, publicly appreciative athlete I've ever met in my 44-year career than 22-year-old Caitlin Clark.
You know WNBA is coming to Portland. We're
Yes.
very excited about the Fire. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think it's going to be great. I'm understanding from my sources that already 11,000 season tickets.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's fired
That's
up.
incredible.
Yeah.
Right, fired up for the Fire. And I've been it was called the old Rose Garden, right? And I've been there, and that's a big arena. And I'm going to guess that will be sold out. The similarity there will be certainly like the Indiana Fever last year, but also the Golden State Valkyries this year. Expansion team, people couldn't get enough of it. They're going to have the highest attendance, the Golden State team, this year in the WNBA. And I think that's healthy. So it's terrific. I think they'll do great. Caitlin Clark, when she comes here, people get your tickets now.
Yeah.
You know, when the Indiana Fever are playing, if you have, they don't have the schedule yet, I don't think. But I think it will do very, very well.
Absolutely. The book again is titled On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports. You are tonight at 6 o'clock at Barnes & Noble, Clackamas Town Center, and you have a couple other appearances as well. We're going to put those on our website at katu.com. Christine Brennan, thank you so much. And thank you for the work you've done for women in sports.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
Well, thank you. My pleasure. Great to see you, Helen.
All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.